Hello everyone, this is Cooper here with Milestone Scholars. Today we're going to learn about how to solve basic word problems using the skills we learned in the last video, solving basic equations. Let's start out by looking at a word problem revolving around a yummy pizza. Each person at Jim's party had 3 slices of pizza. There were 50 pieces to start with and 5 pieces left over. How many people were at Jim's party? What I like to do first, before I even start the problem, is underline all of the important parts. So I would say each person is important, has 3 slices, that's also important. And then you start with 50 pieces and end with 5 pieces. So that's definitely important to go over. Remember that we have to make a variable equal to a number here. That is our ultimate goal. So let's start with the number side of the equation. There are 50 pieces, and after everyone is done, there are 5 left. So that means there are 50 minus 5 pieces eaten, because we're trying to figure out how many pieces are eaten so then we can tell how many people there are at the party. Now, at a first glance, you may think you could set that to x, and this would be your problem. Great. But unfortunately, that isn't quite correct. The thing is, each person eats 3 pieces. So one person, let's draw this out, eats 3 pieces of pizza. So essentially, if each person eats 3 pieces, if we make p the number of people, so actually let's get rid of this x, let's make it p to be more fair, more clear. And each one eats 3 pieces, then we get 3p equals 50 minus 5. Because if p is the number of people and there's 3 times as many slices as people, then that would be 3p is our equivalent answer. That's how we set up the problem. So therefore, what we get is we get 3p equals 45. Then we want to do divide by 3 on both sides. And we get p equals 15. That's how many people were at the party. Great. Great job. So, next problem. I want you to pause the video right now and try it out if you think you can do it. Otherwise, let's do it together right now. So, on July 30th, a zucchini is 4 inches long. Let's underline that part. That's the initial length. It grows 0.1 inch in length each time it rains. Let f be the number of times it rains in August. If by September 1st the zucchini has grown to 7 inches long, how many times did it rain in August? So here we have to set the initial length. I'll put that as end length plus the change equals the final length. I'll call that fin length. Can't really go any farther, so let's go down here. Final length. So let's put this to the side. Essentially, now we can just plug in the lengths. So the initial length was 4 inches. So that'll be 4 plus something equals 7. That's your final length. So our change has to be something a little bit different. Now we know each time it rains, zucchini grows 0.1 inches, meaning our variable should actually be 0.1 f, where f is every time it rains. So that's our equation, and now we can just solve it. So we get to subtract 4 by both sides. We get 0.1 f equals 3. If you divide by 0.1 on both sides, then you get f equals 30 times. There, that's how many times it rains. So now we're going to go on to a different problem that employs a slightly different strategy. Ms. Martinez requires that the students score at least 65% to earn a passing grade on an algebra test. Suppose, actually let's underline, 65%. Suppose that there are 35 questions on the test. How many questions must a student answer correctly in order to pass the algebra test? So this problem requires setting two ratios, in this case fractions, equal to each other. So we know the score out of 35 should be 65%, or 65 out of 100, right? So that will be the number on the right side of the equation. Then we know we have some number x out of 35 equal to this percentage, because you want to know the number of questions out of 35 to get 65%. So x out of 35 divided by 35 is 65 divided by 100. From there, all we have to do is multiply by 35 on both sides. Imagine this was on top. In fact, maybe I'll try and squeeze it in there. This cancels out, and this is our x. This right here, which equals, if you get out your calculator here, 22.75. That's our final answer. So now I encourage you, well, actually, just to be clear, 22.75 isn't a round number. So really, it's actually 23 questions. That's how many questions you need to get at least 65%. So now I encourage you to try this next problem, C, on your own, if you can, because it is very similar, although there's one little tiny difference. Determine how many questions are on the test if a student needs to answer at least 39 questions correctly in order to pass the test. So we have the same 65% on the right side, so that's going to be 65 over 100 again. But now, instead of figuring out what number out of 35 questions there are, we have 39 questions out of a certain number of questions. So it'll be 39 over x. So to solve this easily, we can use the butterfly method. If you have two fractions equal to each other, you can multiply the numerator of one by the denominator of the other, and vice versa. So you go like this and like this. That's why it kind of looks like a butterfly. And you can get 3900 equals 65x. And then from here, you can solve to get x by dividing 65 on both sides, and your x is 60. Now, you don't exactly have to stick around any longer because that's the main basis, but I just wanted to go over how exactly the butterfly strategy works. So I'm going to draw this in red now. Basically, if you were to just multiply out and divide, eventually you'd be getting the same answer. What I'm trying to say is, say we have 39. Actually, let's make it farther away so we can do this correctly. 39 over x equals 65 over 100. You want to have x by itself, so let's start by multiplying x. Therefore, 39 equals 65x over 100. And you multiply that out, so it's 3900 equals 65x. And then we have the same thing that we just had, but it just eliminates a whole step that we don't have to do. So, thank you so much for watching this video. Please feel free to like, comment, and subscribe. We definitely need the constructive criticism. I think I've said that every video, but it is entirely important. If you have any questions, you can either put them in the comments or maybe we can get a live tutoring session up. We're still working on that functionality at this point in time, but by the time that everyone watches this video, we will probably have it there. I hope you all are staying well during the coronavirus and healthy. Make sure to exercise every day and things like that. But thank you so much for watching. I hope you have a great day. Bye-bye.